The denim jeans giant Levi's has abandoned Made in America fashion, and there's no doubt about it. It shows in all of their most recent actions. It shows in so many different ways throughout history, and for a brand that arguably popularized and started American heritage style, that was bred, nurtured, and raised all on American soil, for them to do something like this, it's very sad. I mean, growing up, I used to look up to Levi's. I mean, I fell for the propaganda. A lot of people fall for the propaganda. Their marketing is great, but at the end of the day, Levi's is no longer an American company. It's a global conglomerate, and it shows in their history. I mean, everything from utilizing synthetic indigo dyes from Germany starting in 1915 to offshoring their labor, their workforce, their production to a bunch of different countries, namely China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and I believe now even most of their denim is woven in Mexico as well as China. And the thing is, while Levi's has been hailed as one of America's greatest brands, you could see throughout the history that American tradition really didn't matter to them. It was almost never about America. It was almost always about raising profits, cutting costs, how much can we lower the quality of this garment yet still make it wearable and make it as cheap as possible to make and as cheap as possible to the consumer. I mean, we are a far cry away from the history of when Levi's was essentially started, when Levi Strauss partnered with American tailor Jacob Davis, and they obtained the US patent for riveted work pants that, again, was bred in American soil, bred in American history, and started what essentially would become the American blue jean. Now, in the beginning, yes, you can argue the fact that Levi's did in the 1920s sign an exclusivity deal with the cone mills in Greensboro, North Carolina to make all of their Levi's shrink-to-fit unsanforized 501 denim, but I think this was more out of convenience as opposed to maintaining heritage and tradition in America, because at that time a lot of their stuff was still made in America. So keeping all of it domestic made a lot more sense than making the denim here, offshoring it somewhere else, and then bringing it back. It just didn't make that much sense. But then something happened in the 1980s where all of the biggest brands, namely Wrangler, Levi's, Lee Jeans, all of the competitors ended up offshoring their stuff, offshoring all of their production, and Levi's followed that wave too. And granted, I get it. In business, you kind of got to do what you have to do. So I can't really blame them for that. I don't think that it was all to just brush American tradition aside. At the end of the day, it was nickels and dimes. However, in the later 1990s, there was a kind of a need or a cry for American-made goods. There was a newfound sense of patriotism in the American public. And at that time, Levi's still was manufacturing some of their product in the American states at that time, all the way up until April of 2002 when they closed down 6 of their American factories. I believe they were the last American factories that they had, laying off almost 4,000 American workers and ridding them of their jobs. And the thing is, the cry for American goods, while it was a small and gradual rise or increase in need, Levi's just decided to forego the thing entirely, and it's really sad to see that. And think about the repercussions not only for those workers in America losing all of their jobs, but also maintaining the quality of certain garments and the economy itself. I mean, there had to be some way, maybe downsizing, sure, I get it, but there had to be some way. And not just that, but if we go back to the earlier 1990s, Levi's began their Levi's vintage clothing label that was a little bit more of an upper scale, higher fashion label that reproduced some of Levi's most popular American-made styles. They wanted to capitalize on the American heritage style look, the dream, and while these were of higher quality garments than most of their other stuff was, at the end of the day, it wasn't American-made Levi's garments. It was an American facade that was facilitated by Levi's global company that just so happened to make garments that looked like they were made in America, but they're not American garments. And I think the final nail in the coffin that really kind of set me off personally was when the Cone Mills, which again was Levi's exclusive 501 shrink-to-fit denim manufacturer all the way up until I believe the 80s or 90s, ended up closing down for good, and the workers were begging, hoping, and praying for Levi's to come in and at least save some of the jobs, maybe purchase the factory, maybe employ some of these people. I mean, these artisans that have skills that you otherwise are probably never going to see again in America if we don't do something. These people begged and protested for Levi's to come and do something, and they did absolutely nothing. It was pretty much radio silence from Levi's, and you know, for a company to have had that connection with another company for almost a century, and for them to just let it die out in a painful, slow and gradual death, it just shows me that the Levi's that started American style and the Levi's that we have today are not the same company. To be honest, I think the Levi's company that we have today, it's not an apparel company, it's not a fashion company, it's a marketing company that sells apparel. They have incredible marketing materials. They're playing off the name of what once was American fashion. They know that they are the company that is most synonymous with the blue jean, and their mission literally is to just make the cheapest possible garments that they can get that are gonna last a decent time, but have absolutely nothing to do with American culture. Their fall from grace is truly sad to see, especially for someone like myself who loves raw denim, loves selvedge denim, loves the history of denim, loves the history of American style, grew up loving the name, the brand of Levi's, grew up loving the red tab. And you know, not just that, but Levi's going after literally every company that gets even remotely close to trying to pay homage to the blue jean, to American style, to Levi's history, to go up to these small companies and sue them for literally everything they've got. It's crazy. You can't even put a red label on a back pocket of a jean that's just a blank red label, because Levi's will come and they will, like vultures, just come down and just try to take everything you have, and it's crazy. The company of Levi's does not care about American heritage. They do not care about American made goods. They do not care about saving American jobs. They barely even care about the workers that they have now. I mean, workers that make denim in these shops, that make their clothes, that manufacture for this huge brand, are constantly protesting at the negative impact that it has not only on the environment where they're at, but also on their health. I mean, you see this all the time, and then you look at brands like Seven Titans, who is literally trying everything to make a pair of jeans that is truly 100% American made, from the rivets to the stitching to everything. The denim is made here. It's made in Greensboro, actually. I mean, from brands like that to brands like TCB, who literally make their denim almost to the T when it comes to the specifications as well as the fabrics of vintage Levi's denim. I mean, these reproduction pieces are insane. I mean, you have all of these brands that have taken it upon themselves to use their own money, to use their own funds, and study the product of Levi's from the Grail era, while Levi's itself continues to ignore its own heritage, its own rich history in American style. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with the Levi's vintage clothing label anymore. I mean, they barely post, they barely drop anything. I think the last big collection that they had was in 2020 or 2021, something like that. And now all they ever do is just drop the same reproduction piece over and over. They drop one item per season, it feels like. And now even the Levi's vintage clothing label, which was their one attempt to kind of even fake that they care about American style, is now gone. I don't know, guys. I don't know what's gonna happen with American denim. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's really sad to see this piece of history gone, especially considering it's been more than 150 years of the history of the blue jean and all of the changes that it went through, and now it's been muddied, and I don't know if I'll ever buy from Levi's again. Let me know what you guys think. I know that this video is kind of just a long rant or a monologue, but it's just been something that's been bothering me, especially ever since I came back from Japan and visited Kojima, which is the heartland of where Japanese denim is made, and I got to speak to these artisans and see the passion, the love that they have for it, and, you know, compare that to the actions of the company of Levi's. It just really sickens me. But yeah, guys, anyways, let me know what you think about Levi's. Let me know what you think about all of this this stuff, everything that I said, and I do have sources that cite this stuff, and you know, the proof is in the pudding, you can't ignore it. But anyways guys, thank you so much for the love on the most recent videos, thank you so much for the love on the most recent shorts, and lately I've been thinking about reopening my Discord chat. I kind of let it die for a little bit. I think maybe it's time we kind of take it more seriously and start it up again. Let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in, and if you guys are, then I'll definitely get something cooking with that. But anyways, like I said, thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.